Alright guys, this is my first YouTube video. I'm doing it all in one take. No edits allowed. But my name is Rob and I just wanted to introduce my ClutchMind Basketball YouTube channel. I'm going to do my best to post all of the mental skills training knowledge that I've learned throughout my basketball career. And I really hope that it could help you learn something too. A little bit about my story is I was a good high school player for my area, but I grew up in Connecticut, so it's, not the mecca of basketball. I wasn't surrounded by high-level talent growing up. But I really loved the game. I was not super athletic. My junior and senior year of high school were the only 2 years I played varsity basketball. I didn't have any Division I offers. I thought about trying to walk on. Should I do a grad year or prep year? And honestly, didn't really feel called to it at that time and ended up choosing a Division III school, Washington and Lee University. And went there my freshman year and was unsatisfied, let's just say, with how that season went. I played probably 3 to 8 minutes per game, some games less, some games more, usually if we were up or down by a lot. And met with my coach frequently asking what could I do better, why am I not playing? And at the time it didn't really come from the right place. It came more from a service to self place and not of how I can affect the team. And so I went into that off season, which, by the way, that school year ended early because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And like I said, I was unsatisfied. I knew that wasn't the way I wanted to start my college career, and I wanted the trajectory to be going way more up than it was, let's just say. So the bottom line is that the pandemic happened and I ended up taking a year off from school. I took a gap year and I came back that following season. So this was 2000. My freshman year was 2019 to 2020. I took a gap year, 2020 to 2021. So this is my sophomore year, which is 21-22 season. And I came back and I was just a totally different player. But during that year off, the main thing that really transformed me was focusing on my mental fitness, my mindset, mindfulness. There's a lot of different terms on it that are thrown out there. And in reality, it doesn't matter what you call it, but I really got locked in to these things. So I took courses, I read books, I tried different habits and things that, were unusual. I was that kid that bought every program, read every book, bought every, gadget, training tool. And I just loved the game. I really wanted to get better, and what I ended up finding was that basketball was an avenue to create a better version of myself as a human being, a more actualized version of myself as a person. And one of the foundational things in this transformation was something called the Deep Game program by Taylor Allen, who puts out still unbelievable content. And the last law of the Deep Game is that basketball is not life, it's a teacher of life. And my whole life has been basketball. But what I learned was that through developing my mental fitness through basketball, I know I can work hard at anything. I can be disciplined at anything. I know how to build confidence in any field. And the main message that I want to preach to you guys, if you're, in high school right now and maybe you're struggling with where you're at right now on the court, your career isn't necessarily trending in the direction you want it to. Well, the one thing I want you to take away from this introductory video, and I'll talk more about this as we move along here, is that these mental skills, discipline, confidence, emotional awareness, emotional resilience, things like that, these are skills, meaning that the first time you try and do them well is not going to be easy, right? If I've never picked up a basketball before, I'm not going to know how to shoot, and I'm probably not going to make a three-pointer, right? And so it seems obvious when you look at a physical skill that way, but these mental skills are just that, they're skills. And so a lot of people see high-level athletes and they think that they were naturally born with these things and that, you know, they're just not built like that. And maybe you're not right now, and that should be something that's encouraging, because you know you have a lot of room to grow and that you can grow in these areas, in these mental skills. Okay, so if you're not where you want to be right now, look at that as an opportunity to grow and get better, okay? And just know that there is a way out of, you know, getting out of your own way, because a lot of times with mental things, that's what happens, right? Like, if you're overthinking every decision you're making on the court, well, that's just you getting in your own way, right? If you were able to stop doing that, you could play free and play with the weight off your shoulders, and you would be unstoppable compared to the version of yourself that's actually out there. It's like if you play in a real game right now and you feel like hesitant or not so confident, but then you go play in a pickup game where there's no pressure and you're balling out, well, that feeling is attainable in real games that have situations that matter too. And I hope to teach you how to do that, because I went through it, and I think that the stuff that I learned can apply to you because it worked for me. And one of the great quotes that I like and I always come back to is by Ed Milet. And he says, I think it's like, in life, you're most qualified to help the person you used to be. And so if you're watching this and you're a high school player or a college player, I used to be you, and I used to struggle with these things. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight, right? They're skills. You don't become a 40% shooter 3 days after you pick up a basketball, right? But over time, you can build these things to the point where, you know, it comes naturally to you, okay? It's like muscle memory in a shot. Well, this is like mindset memory, you know, with your mental frames, your mental fitness and stuff. Okay, so anyways, that's, you know, I did a really deep dive into that during that gap year, and ended up having 3 very successful seasons at the Division III level, and just finished my first season as a professional in Italy, and you know, just trying to continue. You know, I'm on the same path that you guys are, still trying to evolve and improve every single day. All right, so if you're looking for mindset advice or just help with anything going on in your career on the court, I think you've come to the right spot. I hope something that I said today, even, or something I'll say in the future, can help you. And just stay on the path, all right? Keep working hard. And like I said, we're going to talk a lot about mental skills that can be developed. So be excited about developing these things, because it'll transform your game and transform your life.